Things are a lot quieter tonight on Snyder Street in South Philadelphia. Last night at this time and in front of this house, reputed mob boss Angelo Bruno was gunned down. Today, friends and relatives of Bruno paid their respects to his family.
Less than a year later, the FBI watched as Nicky became the big boss. And Phil, he was the guy who made it all happen.
We find Nicky Scarfo not guilty, Philip Leonetti not guilty.
Thank God for the American jury system. An honest jury.
From when I was a kid, you know, my relationship with my uncle, he told me the right path to take, which I believed him and I followed him and I listened to him and he got me involved with the La Cosa Nostra. My uncle told me to be a man of honor, to be a man of respect. You know, we have to live this life. This is our life, he told me, you know. This is the way we live. We don't trust the government. We don't live by their laws. We have our own set of laws we live by. But he asked me one time, he said, look, if I told you to shoot Spike, would you shoot him? I looked at him, I said, now I know Spike. I grew up with Spike, and he was a funny guy, and he was a real good friend. Like, we really liked Spike, you know? I said, yeah. I told him, if you told me to do it, I would do it. He said, good. He says, not that, there's no problem with Spike, but I just wanted to see what you had to say. This is our life. This is how things are in La Cosa Nostra. Like, we're not crazy killers, or I didn't think we were at that time. We wouldn't go out and kill little kids or things like that. We would kill people that disrespected our family and disrespected members of our family. And I thought that was good. I felt like, yeah, that's good. There's nothing wrong in that. I mean, we're respectable people. We help other Italian people if we could. I always told my uncle, the only reason I'm involved in this life is because of you. And if you weren't around, I'm not looking to be no boss, I'm not looking to take over. He said, no, you got to keep this thing going. If I die, you got to keep this going, the La Cosa Nostra. He was into it. That's him. That's his life. When I was made a member of the family, Phil Testa, the boss of the family at the time, called me into the center of the circle. He pointed to a gun and a knife he had on the table in front of him. He says, would you use this gun or this knife to help anybody here if they had a problem? I said, yes, I would. He picks my uncle to prick my finger to take the blood from it. When my uncle takes the blood from my shooting finger, he puts it on a piece of tissue paper. Now, Phil Testa tells me, he says, I want you to make believe this piece of tissue paper is a picture of a saint. And what I'm going to do, Philip, I want you to cup your hands, and I'm going to light this piece of tissue paper on fire. And as it's burning in your hands, I want you to juggle it and keep saying, may I burn like this saint if I betray my friends. And I want you to keep saying that and juggling it until it burns out, which I did. And when it burned out, Phil Testa put his hands over mine and they rubbed the ashes into my palms. And after that, I was part of the circle. I was a made member. It's a moment that makes you feel very powerful, very strong. It makes me feel I'm part of this family that we're all friendly. We're all brothers now. And we all help each other if somebody has a problem. I felt very good about it. Drugs, well, sure, we could have did a lot better, but my uncle was always concerned about how the people in the Genovese family would feel about that. He knew they were dead against it, and he always made sure nobody in our family fooled with drugs. He put the rule down. He says, you can shake people down, which we shook big drug dealers down for big money. But you cannot steal the drugs and sell them. We could steal the money, he told them, but not the drugs. As things start evolving and changing, people start dealing with drugs, it changed. You know, it's not like it was in the old days. A lot of guys, when we start shaking down drug dealers and bookmakers and loan sharks, come right to the hangout, say, look, they would say, I'm going into business, here, I want to start paying, I don't want no problems from you guys. That's how it got, that's how scared they were of us, because we were killing everybody. Everybody was being killed, no matter who they were. God, he likes the publicity. He liked it. He thrives on it. But also, it's the La Cosa Nostra. That he's very serious about La Cosa Nostra. He wants to go out as the boss of La Cosa Nostra. Well, he's like my uncle. They're old-fashioned. They're like dinosaurs. They want to go out as being members, or the boss, as he is, of La Cosa Nostra. That's how they want to die. That's the way they want people to remember them by. Because that's how they are, you know? What gave me the strength to call the government, though, is when my cousin Mark hung himself. Because after that, I said, hell with this stuff. I can't take it anymore. I'm worried about my son, because my son was best friends with Mark Scarfo. The kid wanted to be a normal kid, but around our family, you can't be normal growing up. You have to live the way his father wanted him to live. 17-year-old kid. Didn't want him to play sports in school. Say, you're a jerk. Don't you play sports in school? Mark wanted to work for somebody, like delivering bread. No, you ain't working for nobody that degrades him. He wanted him to be a La Cosa Nostra member before he grew up. The kid that wanted to be a kid first. He didn't want to get involved with this. He didn't want this. He wanted to be a normal kid. So one day, he went into the bathroom of my office and hung himself, like out of the clear blue sky, like just like that. Didn't show no signs of anything being wrong, or that was it. That's how he held everything inside this kid. He went into the bathroom of my office and hung himself. I ratted, I guess that's the only way to say it. I informed, I testified for the government. I made an agreement with the government to cooperate. If they help my family, if they moved my family and got my son situated, got him out of that life, and moved him somewhere so I could get his life back on track.
Leonetti will face a very tough cross-examination beginning tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, the government is still negotiating with its other star witness, Sammy the Bull Gravano.